The UK public are now legally the most spied on citizens in the democratic world, or arguably even the entire world. We already have the most CCTV per person in the world. But now, thanks to the passing of the Investigatory Powers Bill, otherwise known as the Snoopers Charter, we're basically China. In fact, last year China pointed to the Snoopers Charter as an example of the framework they wanted to use to spy on their citizens. We created the model that authoritarian governments want to copy. Under Big Sister Theresa May's government, it is now the law for your internet service provider, Virgin Media, BT, whoever you have, to store everything you do online for a year. Every website you visit, who you send every email to and when, all of your messenger and app communications, everything you've watched, including that creepy Japanese porn that made you feel a bit ashamed afterwards. It all goes in a bunch of databases. MI5 and the police also now legally have the right to hack into any mobile or internet connected device that you own. Your phone, laptop, wireless coffee maker, and they can access all of its data. They can hack into any of your online social media accounts like Facebook or Twitter. And if they can't accomplish that themselves, the makers of the devices or the owners of these social media networks have to grant them access to it, breaking all of the privacy agreements between you and that company. All those Facebook privacy settings now mean dick. Who does this affect? Not just suspected criminals, everyone. In the old days, if they suspected somebody of a crime, they would have to gather preliminary evidence, take it to a judge, and if the judge agreed, a warrant would be signed and surveillance could take place. Now, by default, everyone is a suspect, and if they want to access your data, a year's worth of it, then they can. The government has also given themselves the right to bulk hacking, which means if there's somebody they want to target, but they don't know exactly where that person is, or even what they're looking for, they will just hack everyone in the general vicinity and sift through everyone's personal shit until they find something they want. So if they're looking for some evidence against Bob the bank robber and they think he's hiding out in a block of flats, they'll just sweep everything and steal a few pictures of your kids in the protests. It's a bit like collateral damage in the war on terror. We think there's a terrorist attending that wedding? Well, we'll just drop a bomb on everyone. Of course, Big Sister claims that this is to help catch terrorists and naughty people, but I'm not convinced. MI5 and co have already been doing elements of this for years. They've just been doing it on the quiet. The whole point of the Secret Service and security agencies is that they're a secret. So why come out now and admit everything and let people know what they want to do? What I think this public legal framework tells us is that this is more of a psychological operation than a technical one. It's what those who are into the occult and, the metaphoric way of looking at the world might call the ritual act of revealing. The establishment making their agenda known, admitting what they're doing publicly because it has an impact on the psyche of the people. When you know that you're being watched on every street corner by a CCTV camera, when you know that every website you visit, video you watch, person you communicate with, everything you share on social media, when all of that is being spied upon and can be accessed by the state, you're going to change your behaviour and become a bit more of a compliant citizen. Even if it's just a tiny bit, even if it's just the thought that you're being databased. You'll remind yourself in the back of your mind that Big Sister is watching and Big Sister is judging what you're doing. And over time, that could have a very powerful impact. A more overt example of how that works is the TV license in this country. They don't even have detector vans that can tell if you're watching TV or not. And enforcers can't even enter your home unless you let them. But just the thought that they know you're watching TV without a license causes people to buy one, or causes people to get scared and succumb to the pressure when an enforcer knocks on the door. It's a fear thing. I think they want the public to know they have all this power to spy on them because it shows you just how weak you are compared to the state. 99% of the public are good, hard-working people. All they want to do is get on with their lives and have fun in their days off. They're not terrorists, they're not criminals, but it's us that has to bear the brunt of this. While all our shit is being tracked and traced, the real criminals and the real terrorists are going underground, evolving their operations using new technologies to bypass the spying. It's a complete waste of time. They just told them what they want to do, so now every criminal with a brain cell is covering their tracks. The other salient point to mention is that laws and legislation rarely go backwards. They don't remove laws, they just add new ones on top. So even if they don't misuse these powers now, and even if there are some good intentions in there somewhere, which is doubtful, the framework is now in place. It's now there for the power to be abused at any time in the future, and for that power to be expanded on further and further in the future, which it probably will be. Totalitarianism doesn't necessarily happen overnight. It's a step-by-step process that you don't realise until it's too late. Give them an inch and they'll take a mile. Today it's the Snoopers Charter, tomorrow it'll be something else. And do we really trust these people with the information? How many times has the government lost sensitive data? Just back in July, payroll information relating to nearly 10,000 workers at Wolverhampton Council had been disclosed to a third party because of an email oversight. Remember when some dickhead lost 2 discs that had the entire UK child benefit database on? We're supposed to trust these people? If this is supposed to be about national security, which is supposed to be the people of the country's security, how is creating a whole database of everything we do, which could be hacked and lost and stolen, make us any safer? The big modern threat that they keep blithering on about are cyber attacks and foreign countries like Russia and China and Iran hacking other state systems. So why have the information there waiting for them? It's like dangling a giant chunk of meat in front of a dog. It's gonna eat it. And if you want to know how the security services and police really act, then just check out my film 7/7 What Did They Know about the London bombings in 2005. At first, MI5 flatly refused to take part in that inquest, to answer for some of the shady things they were doing in the run-up to that terrorist attack, to answer questions that victim family members wanted to put to them. And when they were finally dragged, kicking and screaming into the courtroom, an anonymous MI5 agent got to sit behind a nice screen in private and was just allowed to say, "No, we did nothing wrong. We had no idea this attack was going to happen." One rule for them and another for us. They can have their privacy, they can talk their bullshit, but they're allowed access to all of our data. And as I put together piece by piece in that film, they actually had a very good idea that that attack was going to happen, because multiple training exercises in various state and private departments actively planned for that type of attack to happen. Multiple foreign intelligence agencies warned them and gave them information that the underground was a target. They had 2 of the alleged bombers under surveillance. And you know what they did with a nice, shiny, perfect photo of those bombers that was to be sent and identified by an informant? They turned it into that. Maybe they didn't want them identified. And these are the people we're supposed to trust with our data when they make, quote, blunders like that. We're supposed to let bumbling policemen go through our personal information just on request. All your web history for a year can be accessed on a cop say-so. And you can be hacked if they get a warrant, which we all know means they'll just use a cookie cutter piece of paper that will be passed along a judge's desk or probably digitally and just signed off. Do you honestly think they're going to scrutinize every single one of these? And you could be hacked anyway if they just decide that somebody they want is connected to you in some way. You're in their vicinity, you're part of some network that they're on that they want to access. They're just going to pull everything. So there you have it. Welcome to 1984. Welcome to Big Sister Theresa May, the most spied on democracy in the world, and the envy of authoritarian China. Well done, guys.